Welcome to my myvelocitybanking.com YouTube channel where we talk about ways that you can actually put the Velocity Direct Banking strategy into effect. If you haven't already done so, head over to the website www.myvelocitybanking.com and open up a free account, put in all your information, your income, your expenses, the debts you want to pay off, and it will magically print out a schedule for you as to what to pay off first, when to pay it off, and then how much you should be paying off each month. Stick to the schedule, you'll be able to pay off your debts in record time. So today we're going to talk about credit score and how the Velocity Banking method and strategy can actually help you raise your credit score. Now, I'm going to use myself as an example. I pulled my credit report from two major credit reporting bureaus. In North America, there's really two. One is Equifax and the other one's TransUnion. So both of those pretty much do the same thing. They just kind of let lenders know, tell lenders what your credit worthiness is. That means how much of a risk are you? The higher your score, the less risky you are, and the banks or institutions will more than happily give you money because you are less risk. Now, how do you become less risky doing velocity banking? So I am going to show you that right now. So let's get right into it. I'm going to pull up to both my credit reports. We're going to start with the Equifax one. So here is my Equifax credit score. My Equifax credit score is 802, which is pretty good. Now let's look at my TransUnion one. So I pulled up my TransUnion one, and if you have an online account with my online banking, I get access to my credit report free of charge. So check with your banking institution and see if that's a service that they offer as well. Now here's what's interesting. If you look at my TransUnion credit score, it is an 839, which is, if you look at the chart, that's an excellent credit score. Now Equifax is 802, very interesting. Though you would think that those would probably be the same, but because the two different agencies have different formulas that they use, they will never be the same. They'll always be off by a little bit, but that's okay. Because the point of this video is to look at what happened to my Equifax credit score over the last 4 months. My credit score was 769. As I kept doing velocity banking, I've been doing velocity banking for a while, so my credit score wasn't at near this. It was a little bit lower than this. But as I've been doing velocity banking, so this is just a snapshot from the last 4 months. So in February, my credit score was 769. Doing velocity banking, paying off my debts, doing the chunk payments, paying off the chunks using the cash flow. All the things that the velocity banking method actually has built into it is actually helping your credit score as a side effect. So I started off at 769. I went up to then the month after that, I went up to 797. Then the month after that, I went to 802, and I've stayed at 802 for the last couple of months. Now, what's next? So as you pay off more debts, as I pay off more of my debts, my credit score is going to increase as well. Because the main thing that both of these credit agencies take into account is how soon and how fast are you paying off your debts. If you miss any payments, that's a negative hit. If you are late on any payments, that's a negative hit. But doing the velocity banking method with the payoff schedule, you are not going to fall into that trap that most people fall into, which is why they get a bad credit score. Now, if your credit score is low, that's okay. Just keep just follow the schedule on the velocity banking that the myvelocitybanking.com site tells you to, and your credit score is going to increase. That without a doubt, because now you are taking care of the number one thing that these agencies look for, like I said, which is how often do you miss payments, or are you paying off everything in full? So another thing that they take into account is how much access to money do you actually have. So that means if you have opened a lot of credit cards with high interest, with a high credit limit, but even though you haven't used any of it, the banks or the bureau thinks, okay, well, this person has access to all this money, so they could use all this money. So they count that as a negative towards you. Now, that's okay, because over time, as you keep paying off all of your debt, even though your exposure to all this money that you could potentially use is there, the fact that you're paying off everything else is going to counteract that. The other thing that they look into account, that they take into account, is how many inquiries have been made onto your account, right? So every time you open up or you apply for a credit card or anything along the lines of that, there's an inquiry made on against your credit report. So you want to try and minimize the amount of inquiries that are made, because again, if the inquiries add up, that could be also a negative towards your credit score. But all that being said, the number one thing, and I mean number one thing that they take into account, is how well are you paying off what you owe. That's the number one thing. The faster you pay it off, definitely the better it is on your credit score. The fact that you don't miss a payment is definitely better than any other factor in determining what your credit score is. So that's it for today. We dove into how Velocity Banking can help you with your credit score. And we also looked at how two credit bureaus will never be the same. Now, I know we have a lot of viewers from outside North America, so these are the two largest credit agencies, credit reporting agencies in North America. It may be different in your country, but the bottom line is this, that the formula they use is pretty much the exact same. Maybe a little bit different here and there, but that's kind of the core is this. How much of a risk are you? And the more you can minimize the risk, the better you are in the eyes of these financial institutions. So that's it for now. Until next time. Oh, and I forgot the most important part. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little notification so you get updates on when new videos comes out to help you pay down your debt with Velocity Banking. Talk to you next time.